Okay, so we've got a fresh install of WordPress using 2021 theme, I am assuming, because I haven't checked. Yes, we are. Why don't we add a bit of a new theme? Why don't we add a new theme? Mystic. Ooh, I like the look of that one. Let's visit the site, see what it looks like. Awesome. All right, that's great. So we've got a new install of WordPress, and I like to organize my tabs. You might not. That's fine. So normally I would have the admin tab and then a front end tab, which just means it's the public facing version of the website. And this is your version of the website that you see, and you have all the toolbars and the things you can edit and all this cool stuff. So let's go and add 2 new plugins. We want to add the iThemes security plugin, and it used to be called Better WP Security or something like that. And I hope you like the clickety-clack of my mechanical keyboard. Formerly Better WP Security, yep, that's right. So I'm going to leave that as inactive for the time being, and we'll type in WordFence and install that. Now, another one that's quite good to use as well is WordFence Login Security, which gives you the ability to add 2-factor authentication. I would recommend that you install that one to add extra protection in your login for your WordPress installation. I don't know what is going on with my brain. Alrighty. You should see my facial expressions. I should put a camera on, that'll be hilarious. Alright, we're going to activate this one immediately. Because it has a little bit of a setup where you need to put in your email addresses. So just ignore these email addresses. I mean, it's fine if you want to email me, that's perfectly okay. I'm going to use that, and I'll say no thanks to the premium key. If you're installing your own version of, if you only have one WordPress website and it's your business and you have payment gateways and it needs to be 100% secure, highly recommend using the premium WordFence. Once that's activated, we'll head over to the settings, and it'll give us a little, it'll go through all of the different parts of the dashboard, and every time you go onto a new page, it will prompt you with these tooltips. So I'm just going to ignore those for now. And ignore that because I am not going to keep this website. I'm going to delete it immediately. We do want WordFence to stay up to date automatically. That is important. We need to also take the time to configure. And what this does is installs a small piece of code on your server that intercepts all requests and filters them through the WordFence security filter. This might sound like it will add a lot of overhead to your website, and you know, in a sense it does, but it is necessary to have that added security. So normally on your, if you have a shared host, say on HostGator or Crazy Domains or something like that, you'll have an Apache installation. I can't use that because I'm using Nginx server, and I'll have to do it this way. But just do the recommended and just click continue. You might have to download your htaccess file beforehand, which is exactly what you need to do, just in case something goes wrong and you need to re-upload your htaccess file to your server. If something does go wrong and you are on a shared host, just contact your hosting company and they will help you out. So my server needs to reboot. 1 second. And we should be good now. What I do want to do is configure this plugin a little bit. And what I don't want is to be emailed 35,000 million bazillion times per day of things that are not important. If your site is under attack and you are really paranoid and you want to get right on top of this situation, then you might want to be alerted to all of these things. But in the normal goings on of a WordPress website, there are going to be a lot of automated attacks. And that means that you'll be getting a lot of notifications from your website. And we really don't need to know everything that goes on with the website, especially if there's automated attacks that aren't going to be actually getting into the website. What we might want to know is when an administrator access signs in. So if you're the only person that's logging in, or should be logging in, and you receive a notification that somebody has signed in with admin access, then you know something's wrong, and you know to get on straight away and invalidate all other logins when you go to your profile, which you can do through here. Let's go to log out everywhere else. And what that will do is invalidate any authentication cookies that anybody else has. What I want to do is just reduce the amount of alerts to the bare minimum so that I'm only alerted to things that are really important. Okay, I want to be alerted when the security level is high or greater. I don't need to know when an IP address is blocked, because that will happen quite often from countries that have automated attacks going. I do not need to know when someone's locked out from signing in. Normally what will happen is that attackers will try the username admin as one of the first attacks that they'll try. And so that's why the username admin is not recommended at all on a WordPress website. So we will go over that in the other plugin, which I'm going to configure later. I don't need to know when someone is, well, maybe if I have a website with quite a lot of users, I would like to know whether that user has a compromised password so that I can initiate a password reset and make sure that no bad people are able to log in via that compromised username and password. But I'm just going to turn that off for now. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it on. So yeah, we'll leave that on. Good idea. I don't need to know when a lost password form is used for a valid user, and I'm going to turn that one off for now. So all I really want to know is if WordFence is deactivated. That's important. If WordFence is deactivated, that means that something is really wrong with the website. I also want to know when the web application firewall is turned off. So that is the firewall feature of the plugin, and if the security level of a scanned vulnerability is of high or greater, then I need to know. I would like to know when someone is blocked from logging in using a password found in a breach. And I would also like to know if there's been a huge increase in attacks on my site over a certain amount of time. As a side note, I would really like to bring your attention to a website called haveibeenpwned.com. And you can do that by typing in have I been owned or have I been whatever. And these are ads. So, oh, Google removed the ads for me for some reason. That's cool. Go to this website, type in your email, and it will tell you whether or not your email has been found in a data leak from a website. So I have actually been pwned before. So I'll use my old email address. It's a very old email address, and it will tell me that I have been quite a few leaks. Oh, MySpace, there we go. So MySpace had a data breach. My email was in that data breach. Zynga, I don't even know what that is. There was a huge password and email list on exploit.in. Discuss also released my information accidentally. Adobe did as well, and 000 web host did in 2015. So my email and password back then, I was using a password combination, my email address, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And these were on all accounts that I didn't have any important information anyway. on 000 web host, I just had some university projects or something like that. Put your email or phone number in here. Find out if you have been pwned, which means that your information has been leaked on the black market or available. So information being your email, phone, password, or personal information has been released and is available on the dark web or black market or to anybody that wants it. So it's a good idea to find out whether or not you have had that information released, and then definitely change your password, enable two-factor authentication wherever you can. So get onto that. All right, so back on to the main point of the video. We are also going to go back to plugins. Oh no, wait, did I not save that? Cancel. Save changes. Dan, what are you doing? All right, we'll go back to plugins, and we want to activate iThemes security. All right, so we've got 2 security plugins. It is a little bit overkill, but that's just what we're going to have to do. In this day and age of WordPress websites, I'm going to tick that and do the automated secure site checkup. Yeah, okay, that's obviously going to be, because this is a demo site, I've put it, doesn't actually have a public URL, that's fine. I want to activate brute force protection on my network, and I don't really want to receive updates about security news or marketing news from iThemes. If you would like to, go ahead and check yes, but I am not really into that right now. But you do definitely want to activate network brute force protection. All right. So this is the dashboard. It's really handy. It's great. I don't really like using the boxed layout. I like to have it all in a list because I'll go through each section and make some changes from as I go. Right. So what I'm going to do is click on the all and go through each section line by line, and maybe or maybe not change a couple of settings and then save every time. We can leave all these as default. Ban repeat offender, of course. Add my IP address that I'm in as an authorized host to the list. So I don't ever want my IP address being blocked. So for instance, if I just for some reason forget the password or put my password in incorrect a couple of times, then I'll be blocked. I don't want that to happen. So I'll add my IP address to the list of authorized hosts, and then hopefully I won't be blocked. Well, I won't be blocked by this plugin. And what will also happen is that if your if your website is on a public server, then your IP address will be your public IP address, not a local IP address like mine. This is a local IP address, 192.168.1.232. Feel free to try and hack me on that IP address, because you won't be able to. And I'm going to save settings there. Notification center. Again, this is important because I don't want to be notified every single time there is something for the plugin to tell me. And I'm going to uncheck that and just check my user, because if there are other admin users, you don't want them getting every single notification either. I don't need a security digest, and I don't need to know about the site lockouts. So that'll reduce a lot of the, I call it security spam. It's not really spam because it is important information about your website. But if you have quite a number of websites, then you're going to get a lot of what I call security spam. So we've got banned users. I also want to, in this section, enable this feature. And so what that will do, we'll obtain a list of banned IP addresses and add them to your website. You're already starting off with a whole bunch of IP addresses that are known to behave badly, and they won't be able to do anything bad on your website because they'll be blocked by default. We want to save those settings. I'm going to leave change content directory because, I mean, if you're really security conscious, then something like this is probably a good idea. You can go ahead and do that. Make sure you have a full backup of your website, files and database before you do this one. Changing the database prefix. So that's another one that is good to do, provided that you make a backup of your database beforehand, just in case something goes wrong. I'm going to skip it. Database backups. This could be helpful. You could do a full database backup, send it to your email, or save to the server in the folder that it specifies here, and you'll have a backup of your database. Enable scheduled backups, and you can say every 3 days, every 1 day, every 365 days. You could have one backup per year. That probably wouldn't be a good idea, but it's up to you how you like to do it. So I'm going to leave that turned off, but I would strongly suggest that you have scheduled database backups and have them running every couple of days at least. File change detection is an important one if you are very security conscious, and I'll just run through that setting. So what we want to do is ignore all of these files, because these types of files are changed frequently, and we can add to this list as well. So for instance, I want to not have zip files checked whether they've changed or not. I also want to exclude upgrades, WordFence logs, and if I had a caching plugin, I would probably want to remove that from the list of folders and files that are checked for changes, because the cache folder will be updated very frequently, because new cache files are created very, very often. We will save that, and this plugin will notify me if any files have changed, or when any files are changed on the website. So that even includes when you upgrade plugins or upgrade themes or update WordPress. That will all be included in a report that is sent to you. So file permissions, I'm going to leave that one as is for now. Hide backend, local brute force protection, and we want to automatically ban any attempt of using the admin username. Password requirements, we want to have strong passwords enabled, all user groups selected. System tweaks, I want to disable directory browsing, which means that if somebody goes to, let's see here, demo wp-content, which is the content folder of WordPress. Maybe if we go to uploads and 2021 / what is the month, 05. When you visit this page, it'll have a list. I'm pointing at the screen. When you visit this page, they have a list of files that are available within this website. But on my installation, I have that automatically forbidden by default. So that is great for me. You should enable this setting though. Request methods, remove file writing permissions. It's probably a good idea, but I won't do that right now. And I want to disable PHP in these folders so that PHP is not executed directly in those within those directories. I'm going to need to restart my server for that to work. That's okay, we're not going to do that. I want to disable, these are the only two other sections that need to be addressed. Actually, no, we don't need to address WordPress salts. You can read this yourself. But what I do want to do is reduce comment spam. I want to disable the file editor. That's important. I also want to, what I want to do, where was it again? Reduce comment spam, disable file editor, and disable login messages. There we go. And save. All right, that's all I wanted to do. Install those 2 security plugins. We can see that the WordPress website is still working despite having all of these really cool security plugins happening. The home page is just this. All right, thanks for sticking with me. Come back again and hopefully I'll have some more WordPress tutorials or some sort of web development information that you can fit in your brain somewhere at some specific time when you ramble on. Okay, let's try that again. Thanks for sticking with me. My name's Dan from All Digital Marketing. If you need any assistance or would like to bounce any ideas off me, my website is admarketing.com.au. You can find me here. You can submit a contact support. If you're not a client of mine, please don't do that. You can talk to me on Facebook and submit a form on the contact page. Up to you. All right. Thank you for sticking with me. I will see you in the next video.